One final spot remains, and Championship Sunday. We have one last game to wrap things up, hopefully before the storm rolls in. It's number one Francis Marion, who was just shut out for the first time since 2024 as they take on the Warriors of Southern Wesleyan. Hi, everybody. John Gross, Chris Mangrum, happy to have you with us. We are all set for battle. There is a look at the Southern Wesleyan lineup. The Warriors just played about 25 or so minutes ago and put up a 13-10 victory over Chowan. Matty Crouch tees things off, the 227 hitter for Southern Wesleyan, facing Alyssa Poston, one of the premier pitchers in the conference. All right, Chris, we just saw Southern Wesleyan play about 25 minutes ago. They really had to earn that game against a feisty Chowan team.
Yeah, 13 runs on 12 hits. We kind of mentioned it in the broadcast previously, but the question is, can Southern Wesleyan carry over that momentum with the sticks here in this game against a really talented pitcher in Alyssa Poston, or are they out of gas?
And that was a marathon game. Meanwhile, Francis Marion played earlier today and lost, but that game only took about an hour 45 as Poston starts things off with a strikeout. So defensively for Francis Marion, it's Poston in the circle, pitching to Riley Gray. Left to right around the infield, Riley Webster, Madeline White, Maddie Gulka, and Jenna Walling at first base. In the outfield, left to right, Anderson Thrower, Michaela Goss, Paige Strickland. Reagan Fulcher, who had a big game earlier today, was 3 for 4 with 5 RBI, including a home run. Steps in with one away. Fulcher loops it to White, and 2 quick outs. So, Chris, a matchup of one team who scored 13 runs today versus another team who scored 0 runs earlier today.
Yeah, doesn't it kind of feel like they're both going to meet in the middle a little bit? It'd be a surprise if Southern Wesleyan was able to put up that many runs against Alyssa Poston, who has been dominant again this year, one of the best pitchers we've seen in Conference Carolinas here over the last several seasons. And unlikely that Francis Marion's offense will be held down to a shutout again.
First time since 2024 that the Patriots were shut out as Marissa Moreland steps in. 364 days ago, right here in Duncan, South Carolina, Francis Marion and Southern Wesleyan met in an elimination game. Southern Wesleyan led 2-0 heading into the bottom of the 6th, but Francis Marion put up 3 runs and eked out a 3-2 win en route to a 3rd straight conference title. And the winner of this game will head to the final tomorrow to face Mount Olive, who pulled off the 1-0 upset win against top-seeded and 12th-ranked Francis Marion. That is 12th ranked nationally, as Poston misses 2-2.
And both these teams have seen Mount Olive in this tournament, so it will be a rematch for whichever team gets there.
And Mount Olive has to win just 1 game tomorrow. The winner of this game will have to win 2 games tomorrow, as Poston has a strong start. 2 Ks from the southpaw in the top of the 1st. We go to the bottom of the 1st, and we get our first look at a Francis Marion offense that was held scoreless earlier today. We go to the bottom of the first, and our first look at this Francis Marion offense. This is the lineup that head coach Stacey Valley sends out. Again, this team was held scoreless earlier today, a 1-0 pitcher's duel loss against Mount Olive. They really struggled against Alex Steen, could not score, and they face another high-level pitcher today in Olivia Haig.
Yeah, 9 runners left on base for Francis Marion against Steen, who walked 8 Patriots in that game. Certainly something that Francis Marion is going to try to capitalize on when they get their runners on base today.
I don't think I've ever heard of a pitcher giving up 8 walks and 0 runs,
Yeah.
but that's exactly what happened as the flip is in time from Fulcher as White is retired, one away, especially against a team like Francis Marion.
Yeah, you don't get away with that often.
No.
Especially not against really talented teams like this one.
So one down brings up the 2-hitter Anderson Thrower. Thrower batting .438 this season. Second in this team in batting average behind Madeline White, who led off with a ground out to second. Haig on the season, a 1.84 ERA, 14-4 record, as this is lifted into left and tracked down by Chloe Smith for out number 2. So we go to the 3-hitter, Jenna Walling, who to start the game was listed as the DP, but she actually ends up playing at first base. Walling pitched to Gem earlier today. Complete game, held Mount Olive to just 1 run, but still picked up the loss. As she goes after the first pitch and has a single. So the do-it-all, 2-way standout keeps this first inning alive.
First hit of the day for Walling. She did reach base via the walk a couple times in our game earlier today, and it was her spot in the order. She was pinch run for late in that game. Lainey Amaker came in and was tagged out trying to advance home for the final out of that game earlier against Mount Olive.
Just a wild game. Amaker tried to extend from third to home, got caught in a Mount Olive pickle, and the Trojans able to tag her out. And that sails way upstairs. Walling advances 60. Haig in the circle, making her second appearance of this postseason. Pitched 2 days ago against Chowan. Went the complete game, 10 strikeouts, gave up just 1 earned run. And did that hit her?
Yep.
It did. So Mackenzie Jewell gets plunked, and now it's first and second for Francis Marion.
Yeah, hard to believe that Southern Wesleyan in that marathon win against Chowan just a game ago, 13-10 victory, 5 pitchers throw in that game, none of them named Olivia Haig, and here she starts.
Wild. Well, look, Clay Artieser wanted to have her pitch in this game. She's the ace of this staff, but it's definitely a bit of a gamble because you had to win that game to get to this game,
yeah.
And his gamble does pay off. Oh, 1 on Riley Webster. Watches high. Webster, a .266 hitter this season. A little bit of lineup shuffling for Stacey Valley, and you can understand why after her team was held scoreless earlier today. Same players, but switched a few players around in the bottom half as this is yanked to the left. And that will load the bases.
So here's where Francis Marion struggled in the game earlier today, right? We mentioned the 9 runners left on base. They left a runner on base in every inning against Mount Olive. Alex Steen, who has won 4 games in this tournament of the 15 that were played at that point. Just unreal stuff.
Yeah, that was a gem of an outing by her, but Francis Marion looking to finally get something across as Maddie Golka steps in. Some ominous clouds hanging overhead. There is a chance of rain this afternoon, which is why these 3 games were all moved up. But last game took so long that this game didn't start till 3:10. This was supposed to start at 2. But last game nearly 2 hours, 45 minutes or so in that 23-run marathon. 0-2 from Haig and Golka.
And since this game has started, we heard some conversation between games that if this game were to be delayed, which we hope it's not, that they would pick it up tomorrow, and the winner of this one would potentially have 3 tomorrow.
Golka sends it the opposite way, and it's brought in by Moreland in right field. So that'll end the first. Francis Marion again strands runners on base. They leave 3 on as we go to the second. In Conference Carolinas, we work hard to build champions in body, mind, and soul. We are proud of our tradition, and we are committed to taking it to an even higher level in the years to come. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com to learn more about Conference Carolinas and all of our amazing member institutions. We go on to the second. Francis Marion just had the bases loaded, but could not score. Rebecca Lamb leads things off against Alyssa Poston, who retired the side back in the first. Poston a 1.96 ERA for the 3-time defending champion Patriots of Francis Marion, who are seeking a 4th straight conference title. Would be the first team to four-peat in the league since Coker did so from 1996 to 1999. That's lifted foul. Poston, one of the league's premier pitchers. She did miss the month of March with an injury, but she's back out there and doing A-OK. And because of that, she does not have as much wear and tear on her body entering the postseason as she had in previous years.
And SWU has not seen her this year.
Yes.
They played 2 games earlier this season. SWU was able to grab one of the 2 in a split in the doubleheader, a walk-off win for the Warriors, but Alyssa Poston was hurt at that time, so this is the first time she has pitched against Southern Wesleyan this season.
Here's the 1-2 from Poston. Poked in a left. First base runner of the game for SWU. You mentioned that split in the regular season. The game that Southern Wesleyan won against Francis Marion was a wild game. Francis Marion led it 4-0 through the top of the 6th inning. SWU battled back, scored the final 5 runs of the game, including that Olivia Haig walk-off, as Clay Arteezer is chatting with our home plate umpire, Don Settles. Umpires today, Don Settles behind home plate, Gary Penny at first, and Alfred Basden over at third. So pinch runner at first, and it is Hayden Williams who heads on to run. Chloe Smith at the dish. Had a big game earlier today. That 3-run home run. Feels like it was a lifetime ago that she hit that thing.
Yeah, I've aged since then. That was one of 2 home runs in that first inning for SWU. They scored 4 in the first, and we thought, okay, this one might be heading for a blowout. But it was a close game, although a high-scoring game, finishing 13-10.
Chuan able to battle back and keep things interesting. So congrats to Junior Bailey and his team on a strong season. They are one of the final 4 teams, and all 4 of these teams who are still remaining, well, 3 now, but the 4 entering today have a lot to be proud of just to even get to this point in the postseason.
Yeah, we saw some teams with high expectations go out early in this tournament with all the upsets.
Throw down to second. On the money. An absolute dart by Riley Gray. And there's one away. Pardon me, 2 away.
Throw him out there. And anytime you see the umpires coming together here, means we might see a potential challenge, John.
Let's see. And we will have this play looked at. Now, Francis Marion, really good in terms of preventing stolen bases. They are second in the league in stolen base allowed percentage. Just 73% of the time are the opponents successful on stolen base attempts. But that play is under review as Williams still standing at second. Otherwise, it's a strike him out, throw him out.
And so again, if you're watching from home, we've got the 2 camera angles here anytime we have a challenge. So this is likely the angle that our replay folks are looking at to see if the runner is safe or not. You see Hayden Williams still standing there at second base, thinking she got in there.
And this is a challenge initiated by Southern Wesleyan. The umpires can initiate challenges 6th inning and later, but before that, it is only the coaches. Each coach gets 2 challenges per game. If they use a challenge and are correct in their challenge, they keep that challenge. If they use it and are incorrect in the challenge, they lose one of those 2 challenges. So that is what's currently being looked at, that tag at second.
So a lot like the ABS system
yes.
in Major League Baseball.
Have you enjoyed that so far?
Love it. Love it.
I'm with you. Adds a little bit more drama to the game.
It does. There's just something about everybody with their eyes on the screen in the stadium to see if that pink box is going to light up there. Now, it's based on the length of this review, John, it seems pretty close. A close play at second.
They need that indisputable video evidence to overturn it. So, call on the field is safe at second. And we'll see what they decide.
Here's the call.
So the call does stand. Out at second. I apologize. Out at second.
Yes, so
call stands.
The importance of the language there, as you know, from college football, whatever it may be, any of these replay systems, when it's a stand, they didn't have enough to overturn it, right?
Right.
If it was confirmed, they saw it, they agreed, stands, no evidence to overturn the call.
So the call on the field of out stands, and it is a strike him out, throw him out. So 2 outs for Olivia Haig, the standout 2-way player for Southern Wesleyan, who's the starter in the circle today and was also the hero against Francis Marion in the win earlier this season. So pitcher versus pitcher duel. Clay Artieser says Haig is a flat-out monster, and she's one of the best 2-way players in the country. Transferred in from an NAIA school where she did not hit, but here at Southern Wesleyan, she has evolved into a standout hitter. Two-one from Poston. That misses hitter's count.
Yeah, Haig saw her 10-game hit streak come to an end in our last game against Chowan, but did continue her on-base streak, which now stands at 13 in a row.
Golfs it into left, and it is brought in by Anderson thrower to end the second. So consecutive 1, 2, 3 frames. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. We remain scoreless on this overcast day in Duncan, South Carolina. Bottom of the second is it's Riley Gray who steps in as the rain does begin to trickle down. We hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is the unfortunate reality. We are still playing, and a little bit of drizzle is still playable. Let's hope that this is the worst of it. 7-8-9 due up for Francis Marion, who stranded the bases loaded in the bottom of the first. That has been the name of the game today for the Patriots. Stranded at least a runner in every single inning across the 2 games today. Still looking for that elusive first run of the day as that misses down 2-1. Haig misses. So a battle of a Francis Marion program seeking a 4th straight conference title. Meanwhile, Southern Wesleyan has had this rapid ascent under Clay Arteaser. Most wins as a D2 program for SWU this season. They became D2 back in 2015, up to 37 wins on the season. Full count on Gray. Gray sends it over Crouch and has a leadoff single. So a base hit for Gray, and that opens the door to the reigning Conference Player of the Year and Paige Strickland from last season. Her teammate, Madeline White, the current Player of the Year in the conference.
They just passed the award around down there.
Basically, yep. Same with the Pitcher of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Strickland drops down the bunt. Haig. And that is just in time. What a stretch by Abby Lawson at first for out number 1.
Nice job keeping her foot on the bag there. Haig fielding her position well. That's not an easy play. We'll say that for Francis Marion, already with 3 hits in this game, more than they had earlier today against Alex Steen and Mount Olive, with 2.
One of those hits last game was a bunt. So 1 away, and Michaela Goss into the batter's box. There's a strike. Gray stands on second. Goss pulls one down the line, and that drops. Gray hustles home. Headed to third. Safe. The speedy Michaela Goss with an RBI triple. And it took 9 innings, but Frances Marion finally has a run today across 2 games.
Yeah, you'd love to get that production out of the bottom of your order, Michaela Goss. And that just, wow, just sets up the top of this order to add on here in the second inning.
Now an issue with third base. Now it looks like it's okay. So we go to the top of the order with Madeline White stepping in as the corner infielders creep in. Conference Player of the Year, Madeline White, batting .456. True triple threat. White also named to the D2 Player of the Year watch list earlier this month. Currently in the midst of the third best single season batting average in program history as her bunt brings home a run. And it's 2-0 Patriots. A little bit of small ball from Stacey Valley's side.
Yeah, with runs at a premium from the first game, not a surprise there to utilize Madeline White, who's so good at placing that ball exactly where she needs it. You got a lot of speed at third. Works perfectly.
2 outs brings up Anderson Thrower. So Frances Marion, 2 runs in this second as Thrower steps in 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. Dribbles it. Fulcher in time as she beats the speedy Thrower to end the second. But Frances Marion does push 2 runs across as we go to the third. The Patriots lead it by a pair. Champions at Body, Mind, and Soul is about the development of the whole student athlete. In Conference Carolinas, we have a commitment to excellence in all aspects of the championship experience. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com to learn more about Conference Carolinas. We are committed in Conference Carolinas to providing our student athletes with an unparalleled championship experience. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com/championships to learn more about all of the 2025-26 Conference Carolinas Championships. So we go to the top of the third. Frances Marion leading for the first time across today's 2 games. Bottom third of the order stepping in. Abby Schreiner, Megan Ware, Abby Lawson. It's been back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Post into the circle, helped out by the strike him out, throw him out earlier in the second. Oh! That one came up and in on Schreiner, so a hit by pitch. She will saunter down to first. So Schreiner leads things off by getting aboard.
It's painful, but Schreiner now makes her on-base streak 21 straight games.
So sacrificing her body to extend that streak and to get on. 21 straight games. That is a lot of softball.
And much like we've seen, more changes, pinch runners coming.
So it is the flex, Riley Brown, who will head on to pinch run. Megan Ware now to the plate. 280 hitter. What a day she had earlier. 3 for 4, 2 singles, and an RBI double in the 13-10 win against Chowan. Bottom of the lineup in general was tremendous against the Hawks.
Yeah, you're talking about Megan Ware, was named to the second team all-conference team, and that just shows you the depth of this SWU lineup that she's hitting 8th.
She is not your typical 8-hitter.
Oh, wow.
And that, back-to-back hit by pitches. So, 2 get aboard. Rare to see some control issues from Poston. So a chat in the circle. And Abby Lawson digs in. Good chance for Southern Wesleyan. You don't have many opportunities like this against somebody of Poston's quality with 2 on and nobody out. That's fouled away.
Talk about more late in the lineup magic here. Abby Lawson, 2 for 3, 2 runs against Chowan. I mean, a total of 6 hits from the final 3 in the order. Just incredible stuff from SWU earlier.
Picked up the 13-10 win to advance to this game as Lawson lays it down, but it hit her. And she's out, so she was in play when the ball hit her.
Yep. So
hit the ball. There we go.
Yes, so runners go back.
So 1 away.
No, it's a dead ball.
And the runners have to head back to their respective bases. So we go to the top of the order with Maddie Crouch stepping in. Crouch shows bunt. Crouch is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Just a .227 hitter atop this Southern Wesleyan lineup. It's fouled off by Crouch. Overcast day here in Duncan. We had 2 beautiful days to start this tournament, but there's been a little bit of drizzle. Looks like it's stopped for now, or at least has slowed down even more. It was just a trickle, nothing crazy, as it's popped up foul. I'm not seeing anything coming down now.
Yeah, and the good news is tomorrow looks great.
Good.
So it does appear, it's pretty highly likely that we're going to have rain today at some point, especially into the evening. So just trying to get this game in.
1-2 from Poston. Strike 3. And there's 2 away in the 3rd. Brings up Reagan Fulcher. So Southern Wesleyan started this inning off with 2 base runners and nobody out. And here they are, just 1 out to work with against one of the top pitchers in the conference in Alyssa Poston.
We mentioned the record for Francis Marion coming into this game. Now 41-11 after that loss. But mentioned that Poston has not been available the entire season, as she missed some time in March. And so she didn't pitch at all in the month of March, which was a month that we saw Frances Marion lose 6 of those 11 games. I mean, one came today. But this team, what makes them so good is having that Poston Walling every day. I mean, they nearly pitch every inning for this team, and that's where some of the other teams in the conference got them, was when Poston was hurt.
That duo's accounted for 88% of the innings pitched all season for Frances Marion, and Poston continues to roll through 3. She wiggles her way out of a bit of a jam. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Patriots still lead it 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 2-0 lead for Frances Marion over Southern Wesleyan. Patriots trying to advance back to the final of this event. They've reached the championship Sunday every year. As that one gets by, it is a leadoff base knock, and it will be 2 bases for Jenna Walling. 2 for 2 day for the DP.
Yeah, you don't think maybe she's feeling a little responsibility for the loss earlier? Obviously, she pitched great, only gave up the 1 run. Most of the time, that's good enough to win, but she's the type that feels like she needs to carry this thing on her shoulders and will her team to a win here.
Well, she has 2 hits today. Strong day so far for Walling as Mackenzie Jewell comes to bat. Was hit by a pitch back in the 1st. And there's a strike. Jewell hitting .364 in the season. One of the top power bats in the conference. And Stacey Valley wants to make a swap. Lainey Amaker will head on to second base. She was the one who earlier today was tagged out for the final out of the game in the 1-0 loss against Mount Olive.
Yeah, still not entirely sure what happened on that sequence. She was trying to get in to tie the game.
And that was a wild ending. And there is another hit by pitch drawn by Jewell. 2nd time today. And she's won 1.
Go ahead and pull it up, John. How many times Mackenzie Jewell has been hit by a pitch this season?
Wow. 18. 18 times.
She's a ball magnet, that is for sure. And, hey, any way you can get on base, especially in the top of this order.
Yeah, you'll certainly take it, especially in a game of this magnitude. All base runners are important here. And she now leads the conference with 18 HBPs. That's fouled away. 2-1 on Riley Webster, who's 1 for 1 with a single. Two one from Haig. And that splits the wickets of Lamb. So both base runners able to advance 60 feet. And nobody out. Two more in scoring position for Francis Marion. Webster a chance to break this thing wide open. Facing a hitter's count. Bases loaded. Well, I know that earlier today, Steen got away with walking 8 batters against Francis Marion and did not give up any runs, but I still would not recommend that against this Patriot team.
Haig is that actually her first walk today, but of course she had the 2 hit batters as well.
So 3 free bases given to this dangerous Francis Marion offense. Now the bases loaded for Matty Golka. 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. Golka rolls it through. 1 run scores. Here comes a second. 4-0 Francis Marion. And it's Matty Golka with the lowest batting average on this team who doubles the edge.
Heck of a time to get your first hit of the tournament, as that gives Francis Marion a lot of cushion here in the bottom of the third.
So a Southern Wesleyan team that just played in a marathon affair, now trailing Francis Marion. Clay Artieser heads out there to make a change in the circle, and with that, we will step aside. So Olivia Haig gives up 4 runs so far. The runners on base are responsibility as well. We will step aside for the pitching change. Francis Marion looks to build in this 4-0 edge. All right, let's see.
Olivia's 10.
10. All right.
And let's see
It's the turtle saver.
Oh boy, here we go.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a feeling we're going to have quite a few changes here.
Emily Collins.
Emily Turtle Saver Collins.
Yep.
Okay.
So say that again.
So Haig to right.
Olivia Haig to right, and then Moreland to center. Oh. Oh. All right, so we get back to it, a pitching change. Emily Collins, second time that we've seen her pitch across Southern Wesleyan's 2 games. She enters. A couple of changes in the outfield. Olivia Haig goes from pitcher to right field, and then Marissa Moreland shifts from right into center. First and second for Riley Gray, who steps in 1 for 1 already.
Still no outs in the inning. Chance at a big inning here for Francis Marion.
After being scoreless earlier today, 4 runs so far. Still a lot of softball left to play. Earlier today, Collins went an inning and a third, gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits against Chowan in the win. And she misses 3 and 1. Hitters count. Sent out of play, full count of the way from Collins. Collins at 2.79 ERA has gone 62 2/3. $43K, 19 walks. Skied into right. Should be deep enough to tag to third, and it is. So Webster now stands 60 feet away from a 5-0 Francis Marion lead. First out of the inning.
Yeah, first out. Still a productive out, though. With Paige Strickland coming up, obviously a dangerous hitter. Hasn't been as good as a year ago where she set all kinds of records, but like seeing her up here if you're Francis Marion.
Runner trots down to second. No contest, so Golka is into second. Strickland laid down a sac bunt back in the second, her only plate appearance of the game. Strickland goes oppo, it's brought in. Tagging from third, and scoring is Webster. 5-0, Francis Marion in front in the third.
2 consecutive productive at-bats there to push this lead to 5. A couple flyouts to right. The fly ball by Gray got the runner to third. Fly ball by Strickland gets the runner home. This is the execution that Francis Marion lacked earlier today.
Yes, today this game they're coming through. As Goss steps in 1 for 1 with an RBI triple. Francis Marion 3 for 5 with runners on base today. Now trying to find success against Emily Collins, who replaces Olivia Haig. Haig exits after 2 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 0 strikeouts. Collins misses 2-1. Winner of this game advances to take on Mount Olive tomorrow in the final. Whoever wins this game will have to win twice tomorrow to hoist the trophy. Meanwhile, Mount Olive, by virtue of still being undefeated in this tournament, has to win just 1 game tomorrow. Both of these teams, Francis Marion and Southern Wesleyan, in the Southeast Region rankings. So, win or lose, they still might play in the NCAAs. We don't have the actual ranking set yet. Just the 10 teams in the region ranking were listed unranked. But these 2 teams making up 2 of those 10 squads. 2-2. Goss pops it. And a sliding attempt is unsuccessful. 6-0. Francis Marion in front.
About 2 hits from Michaela Goss and 2 RBI out of the 9 spot.
Productive day for the 9-hitter as Madeline White steps in, the Conference Player of the Year. White is 0 for 1. Last at bat laid down a sacrifice bunt. White lines it away foul. So Collins trying to get out of this frame. In case you missed the story earlier, Collins deserves a lot of credit. She saved a turtle today. As I was driving to the ballpark, I saw her get out of the SWU van, picked up a turtle in the middle of the street, and brought it to the side of the road and saved its life. So well done, Emily Collins. She has a lot to be proud of.
And you were there.
I was there. And I made sure to stop my car so I can see which player actually saved the turtle, so we can give her credit on the broadcast. So here is said credit. Throw down is not in time. Goss the stolen base. That gets away. And another run is just 60 feet away. Everything is clicking for Francis Marion right now.
So wild pitch is the call there.
Count runs full on White. Player of the year in the conference. Third best batting average in a single season in program history. As she elevates this and is retired in center by Moreland. But that'll do it for the third. Francis Marion puts up 4 runs. We go on to the fourth. Southern Wesleyan needs to get its bats going. We'll see if they can do just that when we get back. Conference Carolinas is committed to aligning with businesses that share our common values and, like us, strive to attain excellence and virtue in all endeavors. We work hard to make our corporate partnerships a truly beneficial relationship through mutually agreed upon customization that'll lead to unparalleled exposure. Learn more about how to become a corporate partner at Conference Carolinas by visiting conferencecarolinas.com/corporate partners. And we'd like to thank our fantastic corporate partners: Athletic Solutions, Bob McCloskey Insurance, Box Out Sports, Big Pair Sports, Buffkin Baker, Builder Services in North Carolina, Championship Award Guys, ConferenceCarolinasTravel.com, Digital Scoreboards, Doubletree by Hilton Greenville Woodruff Road, Engine, Executive Thought Partner, Hometown Ticketing, Hourathon, Huddle, Marriott Spartanburg, McGriff Insurance Services, McMillan Pasden Smith, Podium X, Rocket Alumni Solutions, Sidearm Sports, Southern Recognition, LLC, South State Bank, Sport Performance Tracking, Spry, Team Builder, U-Report, and Vernon Graphics and Promotions. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com/corporate partners to learn more about our fantastic Conference Carolinas corporate partners. We go to the fourth inning. Winner heads to the finals. Loser has to sweat things out during the selection show. 3-4-5 due up. Marissa Moreland will get us started. John Gross, Chris Mangrum, happy to have you with us today. Top of the fourth. Both of these teams playing in their second game of the day. Francis Marion lost to Mount Olive earlier today. Southern Wesleyan just down Chowan. Chris, we're nearing the midway point. What have been your biggest impressions of this one so far?
Execution for Francis Marion. We saw him get 9 runners on base and not be able to cash in earlier. They have been able to get the hits when they needed them. And how about the bottom of the order coming up big, especially Michaela Goss hitting 9th with a single and a triple, couple runs driven in, some sac flies. Those are the things you see when a team is starting to get locked in.
So Poston back in the circle, pitching with a 6-run lead. 2-2. And she just misses the corner. So Poston, in conference play, which she's only played in 5 conference games, has not given up more than 3 runs. As she picks up the strikeout for the first out. She's only given up 6 runs or more in 1 game this whole season. 7 runs against Wingate in 4 2/3 in that loss. So safe to say, Southern Wesleyan, a challenging road back in this game.
Yeah, and even if Southern Wesleyan doesn't get there, still obviously some time, but of course you're going to start getting into this point where if Francis Marion keeps scoring, you're talking about that mercy rule coming into play here at some point soon. But, let's say SWU doesn't come back in this game, they're going to see both their losses here in the tournament to the two teams that made the championship game. And you mentioned earlier that they were mentioned among the teams that were listed in consideration. Of those teams that were listed, only 3 teams had more wins than Southern Wesleyan did of those 10 teams listed. So hopefully, if you're Southern Wesleyan, what you've done here in the tournament is enough to get you one of those at-large bids. But again, the whole Mount Olive situation changes things. If the Trojans go on and win this thing, that could steal one of those 8 spots, or
Yes,
would steal
it
one
would.
of those 8 spots.
It would. 0-2 from Poston. One of the other important notes is that Southern Wesleyan did face a challenging non-conference schedule. That's something that Clay Artieser pointed out, that they scheduled the toughest non-conference they've ever had, and he feels it paid off. That could also help him come getting into the postseason. O2 on Rebecca Lamb, who's 1 for 1 with a single. Six Ks for Alyssa Poston. Two down. 6 Ks and 0 walks. Just 1 hit allowed. She has hit 2 batters, but that's it. 3 base runners. Chloe Smith trying to change that.
The other thing to keep in mind for SWU here is when they, if they do end up having to wait around to see, these other tournaments in the region don't take place for a couple more weeks. With the SAC happening, the championship series for the SAC is May 7th through the 9th. And then the Peach Belt tournament is also in early May, so it could be a while before SWU finds out their fate.
Yes, they'll have some time off to rest and recover as this is lifted into left and caught by Anderson Thrower to end the 4th. So the third 1-2-3 inning of the game, orchestrated by Alyssa Poston. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Francis Marion already a 6-0 edge. Conference Carolinas is where tradition is unmatched and excellence is earned daily. Our 16 current member institutions work hard daily to build champions in body, mind, and soul. It's who we are. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com to learn more about Conference Carolinas. Bottom 4, Francis Marion, a 6-0 lead. Patriots need 2 runs to be in line for a run rule win. Of course, Southern Wesleyan will get a chance to hit in the top of the 5th. Anderson Thrower gets us started in this 4th. Thrower is 0 for 2 today. 2-3-4 due up. As she watches upstairs from Emily Collins. 3-0 count. Thrower, Jenna Walling, Mackenzie Jewell due up here for Francis Marion. Ball 4. So that puts the potential 8th run in the batter's box. And it's Jenna Walling who's halfway to the cycle. Single and a double. And it looks like we'll see a change as Stacey Valley chats things over with her home plate umpire, Don Settles. And Jenna Walling re-enters. She will step in 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Walling had attempted just 13 at-bats in her previous 3 seasons at Francis Marion, but this year has developed into a very strong hitter in the heart of this lineup. That's popped back foul. We've seen a good chunk of two-way standouts this postseason. Southern Wesleyan has a handful as well. Such a tough thing to do to master pitching and hitting. Need a lot of extra work after practice. And it's also physically demanding to have to work on both. We've seen Nigeri Kennedy at Texas Tech, superstar, has not been hitting as often as she did in previous years because of how demanding it is. 2-2. The count runs full. Full count delivery. And there's ball 4. So first and second, back-to-back free bases, and Walling is on for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, Walling has lived on base today, going back even in a game where Francis Marion only had a couple hits earlier, walked a couple times, reached on an error. So she's living on base, and now we're into this portion here where it's the 2nd consecutive inning that Francis Marion has had the first 2 reach in this inning.
They're being gifted some bases. A stoppage here. Clay Artieser makes his way out to the circle to chat with Emily Collins. And it looks like we will see a change in the circle. So with that, we will step aside. 2 on and nobody out. Bottom of the 4th, Francis Marion trying to increase this 6-0 lead. Bailey Throckmorton, who pitched earlier today, enters the circle again for Southern Wesleyan. Her team in world of trouble right here. First and second, no outs, and the power bat of Mackenzie Jewell stepping in. Let's see if Jewell actually gets a pitch to hit. She's been hit twice. Conference leader with 18 hit by pitches.
She's crowding that plate. She's daring you to hit her.
She lifts this foul and caught. So one away on the snag by Abby Lawson. Still a slight drizzle in Duncan, South Carolina, but certainly playable. Riley Webster digs in and watches the first pitch for a ball. There's a strike. Webster is 1 for 1. She's gotten on base twice. Single and a walk. There is ball 2. Francis Marion needs 2 runs to take that coveted 8-run lead into the 5th inning. Throckmorton deals the 2-2. Throckmorton pitched earlier today in that win over Chowan, that 13-10 win. She came on in relief. Pitched just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 earned runs. As Webster puts it into center field. And it is down. And the bases are loaded. So a single for Riley Webster. Maddie Golka, who already has a 2 RBI single to her name, digs in.
Tell Caleb he may not
So
be
one
able to get
away.
much because it froze.
And the base is loaded. So those coveted 2 runs in scoring position for Francis Marion. Golka digs in 1 for 2 and takes strike 1. Rain starting to come down a bit harder, and the wind picking up as well. Golka sends it into center. It is caught. 7-0, Francis Marion in front.
And again, the execution from the bottom of this order, we mentioned earlier, Maddie Golka did not have a hit in the tournament until this game. A 2 RBI single last time, a sac fly RBI here. That is the difference we're seeing with this lineup.
Productive day for the Patriots, who scored 2 runs in the second, 4 runs in the third, 1 run in the fourth so far as Riley Gray steps in 1 for 2. Walling on second. That is the base runner to watch. Can Francis Marion drive her home and take an 8-run lead going into the 5th?
And keep in mind that Alyssa Poston is cruising right now.
Yes.
With just allowing the 1 hit so far by Southern Wesleyan. 6 strikeouts, no walks for her also.
0-2 misses on Gray, who had a single back in the second and also flew out to right field in the third. First and second for Francis Marion. And this has been that bounce-back game that we kind of expected. I think we were talking about it during last game as well. Like, Francis Marion shut out for the first time since 2024. They were not going to be held off the board in consecutive games.
Yeah, and to be fair to them, not many teams have had success against Alex Steen in this tournament anyways.
Right.
So maybe that is also the story, is to give credit, even though Steen walked all those batters, how effective she was in keeping the Patriots at 0 runs.
She deserves a ton of credit. Great performance. Able to keep Francis Marion off the board, and her Trojan team get relax a bit and get ready for tomorrow's final. Two from Throckmorton. Facing Riley Gray. Full count. A walk would load the bases for last year's Player of the Year in the conference, Paige Strickland. That's fouled away. Seven runs on 8 hits for Francis Marion. Full count once again is pulled down the line and just foul. So base runners have to retreat. Good piece of contact by Riley Gray. Count stays as is. So we do the 3-2 once again. Throckmorton deals. Sent the opposite way. And it is caught in right field by Olivia Haig. So we go on to the 5th as the rain beats down in Duncan. 7-0. Francis Marion puts up another run. Southern Wesleyan back to bat after this. Fans, make sure to keep up with all the great things happening in Conference Carolinas through social media. You can follow Conference Carolinas on X and Instagram at Conf Carolinas. That is at CONF Carolinas. And like Conference Carolinas on Facebook at facebook.com/Conference Carolinas. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn. Keep up to date on all of the things happening in Conference Carolinas by visiting conferencecarolinas.com daily. Top of the 5th, 7-0 Patriots. Alyssa Poston makes her way back into the circle as the first pitch of the inning is fouled away by Olivia Haig. We definitely recommend that you follow our social platforms in case this game is impacted by weather, which the rain continues to come down. Oh, 1 on Haig, who is 0 for 1 today with a fly out to left, and Alyssa Poston is putting together a vintage Alyssa Poston performance through 4.
Yeah, even though SWU was able to get to Francis Marion earlier this year with a win, again, Poston did not pitch in that series because she was dealing with an injury. And even though it was a loss for the Patriots, it might have just worked out a little bit for Frances Marion to have her here and SWU not really have a chance to have seen her on the season so far.
Tough lefty pitcher for Frances Marion, one of the best in the conference. Grounder to White. Close play is in time. There's the first out of the fifth.
Now, Poston did pitch against Mount Olive in her first game back from injury on April 1st. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. So probably still kind of getting back in the groove there. But what do you think? Do you think we'll see if Frances Marion holds on? Walling in game 1, like a rematch with Walling and Steen?
That I think you have to. I'd go with Walling in that first game. And look, she's the conference pitcher of the year. She was fantastic today against Mount Olive. Poston misses 2-0. Mount Olive still awaiting its opponent. Trojans will take on the winner of this game, the number 7 seed, making this run into the Sunday final.
Much like we saw last year. North Greenville was that team a year ago. They were the 8th seed. Came out of that first round, knocked out Frances Marion, and rode that all the way to the final. We saw Frances Marion have to win twice, and they did it.
Frances Marion last season, as Poston misses to Schreiner, Patriots lost that game, as you said, to North Greenville. Had to win 6 straight games to win the championship, and they did just that. So runner on for Southern Wesleyan, trying to spark something offensively. Clay Artie's side has been one of the best offensive teams in the league this season. They just put up 13 runs prior to this game against Chowan as it's rolled back to Poston. 2 away. Throw back to second, not in time.
Big turn there. Heads up play by Walling to fire that down to second.
Megan Ware grounds out to Poston, 2 down. Speaking of Clay Artie's here, we have to acknowledge the job that he's done. First season, 5 wins. Last year, 21 wins. Pardon me, second season, 21 wins. Last year, 30 wins. This year, 37 wins. He took over a program that had 6 returners and 3 freshman signees a month before school started. And a few years later, here he is, his team under consideration in the region rankings, and a win away from reaching the finals. There's ball 2. Abby Lawson steps in. Lawson is 0 for 1 today with a hitter on a ball that she put into play.
Still just the 2 base runners given up by Poston. You see her flip the dirt there in the circle. Hit by Lamb, and then that recent walk, Schreiner, who stands at second.
3-0 and Lawson. 9-hitter in this order. Ball 4. So first and second for the Warriors. Riley Gray will head out to chat with Poston. And here's Maddie Crouch. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, because of how well Frances Marion has pitched this year between, you talked, was it 88%?
88%, those 2, yeah.
Thrown by Walling and Poston. Frances Marion is 32-1 this year when they score 5 or more runs. And so they just don't. There's a small margin for error there. Basically, if you know your pitching is going to be excellent, 5 is all it's taken. And that one loss was to Mount Olive in that 9-8 game that happened where neither Poston nor Walling pitched in that game. I think Walling maybe came in after it was already settled.
Yes.
So, again, just we've talked about it a lot, but those two specifically have given Francis Marion all that room to work with, and their offense, when it's good enough, it's normally good enough for a win.
This team ERA entering the postseason, sub-2, 192 ERA for Francis Marion. Good for 9th nationally. Pinch runner over to second.
20 is running. 20
It is Madeline Knopp who heads out, and she'll toss. She'll run as Poston gets some tosses in. All right, so we'll get back to it. Top of the order. Maddie Crouch is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. There's a strike from Poston, who has walked 2 batters today. That's been really the only thing that has hampered this otherwise stellar performance. 2 walks and 2 hit batters. Into center field, and it's caught by Golka to end the top of the 5th. Francis Marion can walk it off with 1 run at the bottom of the inning and send themselves back to the finals once again. We'll see if they can do it when we get back. Bottom of the 5th, Francis Marion needs 1 run to win this game via run rule. Paige Strickland leads things off. 8-9-1 due up. Paige Strickland, Michaela Goss, Madeline White due up for the Patriots. 2 runs in the 2nd, 4 runs in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Here we are in the 5th. There's a strike from Bailey Throckmorton. Winner moves on to face Mount Olive. That ball foul, 1-2. Paige Strickland, last year's Conference Player of the Year, a former All-American. Numbers haven't quite been at that level this season. Last year had 14 home runs. This year, just 3. Last year hit .423. This year, .294. Still strong numbers overall, but we saw flashes of what she could do at an All-American level the season ago. 2-2. Strickland officially 0 for 0 with a sac bunt and an RBI sac fly, and now she's 0 for 1. First time that a Francis Marion batter has been struck out today. Michaela Goss having a big day at the office. 2 for 2. 2 RBI, a triple, and a single.
probably one of the better days of the season for her so far. Normally kind of known for her defense, but getting it done with the bat in the 9th spot. And when you get that kind of production out of the bottom of the order with this lineup, this is the result.
So much talent on this Francis Marion team. Of course, it starts in the circle, but a high-level offense as well. Goss elevates this and is retired in center by Moreland. 2 away. Go to the top of the order with Madeline White digging in. White is hitless today. 0 for 2, though she does have an RBI. It is rare to see the .456 hitter fall to 0 for 3 in a game. Trying to avoid that fate right here. And she grounds it sharply to short, but a nice play made by Maddie Crouch. And that ends the bottom of the 5th. A quick 1-2-3. We go on to the 6th. 7-0. Patriots lead. On to the top of the 6th we go. 2, 3, 4. Due up. Reagan Fulcher leads us off 0 for 2 today. Fulcher had a big game earlier today with 5 RBI, 2 hits in that matchup. We will see a pinch hitter on deck with Chaley Roper stepping in for Marissa Moreland after Fulcher hits. Pops this into center and over the head of a leaping White. Leadoff single for Reagan Fulcher.
Yeah, you're starting to see, SWU down to its last 6 outs here. It's now or never, right? Middle of the order, Fulcher gets you started. Obviously a big hill to climb here, but off to a good start here in the 6th.
Yep.
Chaley Roper pinch hitting. Need to get something offensively. Just 2 hits for Southern Wesleyan after putting up 13 runs earlier today against Chowan, albeit Alyssa Poston, All-American level arm in the circle for Francis Marion. So a tough challenge for this SWU team with 6 outs to go. It's in there for strike 1. Still drizzling here in Duncan, South Carolina. It has tapered off a little bit compared to what we saw about 15 minutes ago. There's strike 2 from Poston. Roper at bat, stepping in as a pinch hitter for Marissa Moreland, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And a Roper is fanned. 1 gone. Seven strikeouts for Poston. We go to Rebecca Lamb, who steps in 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout.
Yeah, only the 2 hits today for SWU. Lamb has 1 of them.
And then she was caught stealing. Strike him out, throw him out, which changed the tides of that second inning. That's taken 2-0. Poston generates the foul ball. Good showing of Francis Marion supporters. You just saw them sitting down the third base side. There they are. They're hoping to see their beloved Patriots advance for another shot at the title. They've won 3 consecutive championships, trying to become the 4th team to four-peat since Coker did so from 96 to 99. Ooh.
Foul ball? No?
That got her.
Okay.
So first and second after the hit by pitch.
Thought that might have hit off of, still is a hit by pitch, but it looked like it hit her and then the bat and jumped up.
That's the 3rd hit batter for Alyssa Poston. So 3 hit batters, 2 walks. It's been where the majority of base runners have come from for Southern Wesleyan as Chloe Smith steps in with 2 on. This is one of those situations where they have to find a way to score. Yep. 5 outs to play with.
Chloe Smith had the 3-run home run earlier today against Chowan, so she's got the power to make a play.
That's in there for a strike on Smith. Two-way player for the Warriors. Smith down to her final strike, 0-2. Smith, a big power bat. Clay Artiser feels she should be hitting 10-plus home runs a year. But she's not there yet. He said that's okay. It'll come. She had an outstanding fall, but her swing at times has gotten away from her a little bit during the spring. But she's still having a really good year offensively. Poston fires the 2-2. Brought in by Strickland for the second out of the inning. So 2 away and comes down to Olivia Haig in this 6th. Southern Wesleyan really needs to get something on the board to give themselves a shot.
And of course, we'll have to hold down Francis Marion if they cannot score here. Yep. Keep them off the board for a shot in the 7th.
Haig is 0 for 2. Fouls off the first pitch. Flew out to left in the 2nd and grounded out to shortstop in the 5th. A 1 popped into foul territory and brought in to end the top of the 6th. So Southern Wesleyan again kept off the board. Alyssa Poston has posted 6 scoreless innings. Francis Marion can win it with a run when we get back. 2-3-4 due up for Francis Marion. The Patriots need 1 run to win this game and advance to the final via run rule. 2-3-4 Anderson Thrower, Jenna Walling, and Mackenzie Jewell. So, Chris, if you need a run, this is where you want to be lineup-wise.
Certainly. The only change you could make is try to get Madeline White in there if you're Francis Marion.
Thrower grounds to Ware, and that toss just beats her for the first out.
She grounded to third, John. You asked where.
I was going to say, what do you mean? I know. It's just like Abbott and Costello, one missing piece.
Exactly.
They did not say where is on third or something like that.
She grounded to where?
Grounded to where, exactly. Well done, my friend. Jenna Walling digs in 2 for 2.
It's been a long weekend.
It has been a long weekend. Yeah.
Yes.
What is this? I've lost track. How many games have we done?
For the first day.
Well, 16. Game number
3 yesterday.
16 right now, yeah.
So this is game
17th
This is game 17.
Yes.
Big hack by Walling behind 1-2. We'll have at least one more tomorrow. If Mount Olive beats whoever its opponent is in that first game, it's over. If they lose, we go to the decisive final game of the tournament. The if necessary game. Walling rips the 2-2 foul. So 2-2 on Jenna Walling. 2 for 2 today with a single, a double, and a walk. Walling has hit a home run in 2 separate games this postseason, so she's capable.
Would be quite the moment.
Ball 4. Winning run is on base for Francis Marion as Mackenzie Jewell comes to bat.
Hey, on base queen over here.
She is.
All 4 times in this one, and a couple times earlier today.
That OBP is headed on up. Currently at 397 entering this game as Jewell takes strike 1. Jewell's also gotten on base a couple times today.
Well, speaking of on-base percentage, one way to get on base is get hit by a pitch. Best in the conference at that.
She's done that now 18 times this season, including twice today. Her on-base percentage is .458. Good for third in the team behind Madeline White and Anderson Thrower. As this one is hit out towards left and brought in for the second out. Here comes Riley Webster. And again, getting on base often today. She's gotten on in all 3 plate appearances.
Yeah, I'm going to steal one of your favorite numbers to read off here, John, and that is, SWU's left 6 on in this game. They've had some base runners, but SWU is 0 of 9 against Poston with runners on base. Just elite job by Poston to get those stops with runners on base.
Well, that'll do it. They're 0 of 9 with runners on and 0 of 6 with 2 outs. So the situational hitting, which typically makes all the difference, has certainly favored Francis Marion. Meanwhile, Francis Marion, in terms of runners on, 5 for 11. Elevated foul. Count moves to 2-2.
Hey, a bouncer over our way.
We really need one to hit the banana. Ground ball over to second, and we go to the 7th. Southern Wesleyan needs 7 runs or more. It's Conference Carolina's tournament run depends on it. We'll see if they can get the job done when we get back. Top of the 7th. Southern Wesleyan needs at least 7 runs to keep this thing going. A pinch hitter, Mackenzie Babb, steps in for her first plate appearance of the postseason. She is 2 for 6 on the year. Junior from right here in South Carolina. 7-8-9 due up. Babb followed by Megan Ware and Abby Lawson. That's fouled away, 0-2. Poston, 3 outs away from her 12th complete game in what is now her 16th start. Oh, 2. Just outside on Babb. Babb rolls it away foul. So Southern Wesleyan, here's the question. If this team comes up short, they will have to not only wait a few days for the selection show, they're going to have to wait a couple of weeks with some of the other conference tournaments not happening until a little bit later on. That's popped away foul.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? You normally, we're here on conference championship weekend. You get the result and you know. Maybe even the day of sometimes. Now we're talking about a couple weeks.
1-2 misses. So that's an interesting thing because if you're a Southern Wesleyan, you want to keep practicing like you're going to have a game to play, but
of course,
but you might not have another game to play in an NCAA regional. Babb skies it foul, and it's dropped by the catcher Gray, so count stays as is. And of course Southern Wesleyan also tomorrow will go from today playing Francis Marion, hoping to beat them, to tomorrow rooting for Francis Marion to beat Mount Olive.
Yep,
which would prevent a bid stealer.
Yeah, that does give you that one extra spot to play with. Hard for SWU to feel good about it going in.
There's strike 3 from Poston.
You know, I'm curious. You know, do you buy the the pass to watch the Peach Belt and the Sac go at it and play the scenarios, or just let it fall, sit and just sit and wait? Do you watch the games, rooting against the teams you need to lose?
Hey, you're just hoping that the favorites win all of those tournaments for sure.
Right.
Megan Ware into the batter's box. 0 for 1 today. She was hit by a pitch back in the third. Poston up 0-2.
It would appear that Anderson, Carson Newman, and North Georgia pretty much have their spots locked up, I would imagine. Just less than 10 3 teams with less than 10 losses. Then, of course, I would say Francis Marion, probably safe at this point. They've got over 40 wins. They're going to be in there. Now, spots 5 through 7 or 5 through 8 could go to anybody else in that list.
Will be interesting to monitor these other conference tournaments as the 0-2 ends up in the glove of Maddie Golka. And Francis Marion is 1 out away from advancing to another conference final. This Patriot program has reached the Conference Carolinas final each and every season since joining the league back in 2022. Comes down to Abby Lawson, 0 for 1 with a walk. Lawson fouls it off. Poston looking for her 6th complete game shutout of the season. One on Lawson. And she's down to her final strike, and potentially the final strike of the season for Southern Wesleyan. And regardless of what happens, this is a program with a lot to be proud of. Most wins in the program's D2 era, which began in 2015. They've reached the second to last day of the postseason as Poston, her pitch is hit into center. Lawson with the single. So runners on first. Here comes the top of the order, Maddie Crouch. Crouch is 0 for 3 today. She has struck out twice. And there's a strike. 0-1 from Poston. 2 strikes away from her 6th complete game shutout of the season. And remember, this is only her 16th start of the year. Now a strike away. Somebody who missed the entire month of March with an injury has come back in April with a vengeance. Oh-2. Popped up. And that will do it. Francis Marion will try to defend its title tomorrow against Mount Olive. 7-0 the final score, and we head to Championship Sunday with at least one rematch of what probably was the game of the tournament, the 1-0 win by Mount Olive earlier today. So Francis Marion advances, Southern Wesleyan falls. We'll see what happens with SWU the rest of the way. But either way, Chris, they have a lot to be proud of from this 2026 campaign.
Well, certainly we'll start with Southern Wesleyan, as you said. They'll be waiting on pins and needles the next couple weeks just to see how the other tournaments shake out. Obviously, they're going to be rooting for the favorites so that they can get a spot, and hopefully they do. For Francis Marion, it's not a shock to anybody that they found their way into the championship game, whether it was coming in as the winner's bracket champ or the loser's bracket champ. But with Mount Olive, look, they've put together a awesome tournament, beating the top 3 seeds on their way to that championship game. And if tomorrow is anything like it was today, sign me up for 1 or 2 more of those.
Let's do it, my friend. First pitch tomorrow at noon. If necessary, game will follow that matchup. Mount Olive needs to win 1. Francis Marion needs to win 2. It all comes down to Championship Sunday. We'll have the broadcasts for you right here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Huge thanks to all of you for joining us. We'll talk to you tomorrow at noon. Francis Marion, Mount Olive in the championship tomorrow.